Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Coaching Conversations with Jamie and Jess. I'm Jamie Nicole Martin. I am a certified health coach at The Natural Healing Coach.
And I'm Jessica Martin Brassington, and I am also a certified holistic health coach at UnProcessedJess. And I blog at UnProcessedJess, sharing ways to live your life less processed in all areas.
Awesome. And so this week, our conversation that we're going to have with you is about the impact of toxins on your health. Now, let me just do this. There we go. That's much better. So just to get us started, I just wanted to kind of tell a little quick story about the impact of toxins that have had on my health in particular and how I started on this journey. So a while back, before I got into health coaching, before I got into the holistic lifestyle, I was a very busy single mom, always on the go. I always would feel fatigued. I was always irritable. I had brain fog all of the time, where I would be having conversations with people and I could hear them, but sometimes I didn't quite even comprehend what they were saying. I was that, I had that, my brain was that much out of control. I also suffered a lot with inflammation in my joints. I found that I had arthritis in my back. I would also suffer from breakouts, different types of breakouts. And those were only a few of my symptoms. They weren't always serious enough for me to go to the doctor. And I thought that I could handle them on my own. And I tried and I failed. And so when I did finally go to the doctor, they would just want to give me prescriptions instead of trying to get to the root cause of why I was having those issues. I later found out that my body was overburdened with toxins, which led to a lot of the health issues that I had at the time. And so this brief coaching conversation, we just wanted to kind of touch on some of the symptoms that you may have if your body's being impacted by toxins. A lot of the information that I learned, I had no clue that one was the cause of the other, that the toxins or the foods that I was eating or even the things that I was putting on my body could cause the health issues that I was having at the time. So now we're going to go into the first one, and Jess is going to give you some information on that, which is the consistent fatigue.
Yes. So one of the signs that your body is overburdened with toxins is consistent fatigue. And like Jamie had mentioned, a lot of times we think, oh, it's not major, it's not enough to go see a doctor, or we say we're a mom, that we're just busy, but you might have constant and consistent fatigue. So even if you are sleeping at night, you might be fighting to get through the day. And this could be a sign that your body's just working too hard to get rid of the toxins that you're pouring into it. So how do you cope with that fatigue? If your answer is, a lot of you say, oh, well, I'll just drink more coffee, have that sweet, get some more caffeine dose. But guess what? You're making that problem worse, and you're continuing that vicious cycle of, going up and then down. And it can also be this consistent fatigue can also be in response to a lot of the hormone disruptors that are just zapping your immune system that are found in our environment and other things.
Yeah, and also that's a good point, and that actually leads to the next point, which is very specific and sensitive for me. Hold on one second. Let's see. Consistent fatigue. There we go. It was hard for me, and how I got started on this journey was I was trying to lose weight, right? I was eating all of the right things. I was working out, but I had a hard time losing weight. And I was doing some research and come to find out that one of the things they say that you should have checked when you're having a hard time losing weight is your hormones. And that's exactly what I did. Come to find out that I did have a hormone issue. I had a thyroid issue, which I still have now, but I'm able to control a lot better based on lifestyle changes that I had. So as Jess was saying, toxins impact your hormones, whether it be dietary toxins that you have in your food or even products that you put on your body. They all have endocrine disruptors or things that impact your hormones that make it difficult to lose weight. So one thing to think about when you're having that problem is to, number one, have your hormones checked. And if you do have a hormone problem, make sure that you're cognizant about, number one, what you're eating, and then number two, what you're putting on your body that may be causing problems, adding more toxins to your system that your body is having a hard time processing and getting rid of.
And then something else, and it's a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Going to be bringing up a lot of things that people don't always want to talk about, but need to in these coming months. But is bad breath. So if you say, I brush my teeth, I even floss, I chew gum, I rinse, breath mints, and still bad breath, that bad breath is often related to digestive problems. It can also mean that your liver is those toxins in your body. Until you tackle that problem from the source, you'll continue to, just have that bad breath and have that insecurity, people wanting people to get too close to you. And it's a lot like we discuss as health coaches. That's a symptom. So we need to get down to the root of that, which could be toxin buildup, other things, gut issues in there. Some things that you can try. I know that I've done is and we can get into that later, but is like oil pulling, and that pulls out the toxins, and different things that are natural that can help with that. So that's definitely a sign that toxins might be building up in your body.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of topics that we don't like to talk about a lot, I just wanted to briefly touch on another one, which is constipation. How we rid our body of the toxins is through our intestines. So if we have a backup, but we have a buildup, just imagine those toxins aren't able to get out of your body. So you may have symptoms such as, constipation, which also may lead to stomach aches, headaches, aches and pains, tiredness, breakouts. Those are all could be signs of toxins building up in your body. Also, if you're consuming a lot of processed foods filled with chemicals and pesticides, those also have a hard time. Your body can have a hard time processing and eliminating those from your body. So if you have constipation, one of the things you want to look at is the toxins in your body and doing a detox to help cleanse all of those out.
Yes. And then another thing, another sign is sensitivity to scent. So if you have a strong reaction to smells, particularly fragrances, you may notice that you just can't handle being around those scents. It could mean that you're simply sensitive to the chemicals, or it can also mean that your body is fighting that toxic overload. So maybe you've noticed, I didn't really react to that before, and now it's overbearing for me. It could be that your body has a toxic overload, particularly if you're suffering from headaches or stomach ache. They're upset just from that alone. You definitely want to give that more consideration and look into, like Jamie said, having some of these things checked to assess where your body is at as far as its toxicity.
The next thing is muscle aches and pains. And I know from my own personal experience, this is something that I suffered from myself. So if you're having aches and pains in your body and you can't tie that to a strenuous workout or a long day at work, maybe you wake up and you have aches and pains. This is something that could be tied to toxins. So again, we don't want to get into too much. We want to give you a brief conversation, but things that you should be aware of that could be impacting your body. And the next one that Jess is going to talk about is the skin reactions.
Yes, so your skin is your body's largest organ. So a lot of times when you're not addressing that problem from inside, eventually it's going to show up in your skin. It has nowhere else to go, right? So whether it's acne, rashes, other skin problems, that might be a signal of a toxic overload. Acne in particular, it can be related to the toxins in our diet and our skincare products. So some ways, that you can reduce that toxic overload is to obviously, just like our food, right? Start looking at those labels, moving that same thought process you're using with your food into your not only your cleaning, but also your beauty of products. So being aware of that. Puppy eyes, eczema, psoriasis, outbreaks, those also can be signs that you've just reached your toxic limit. Some people are more sensitive than others, but once these things keep building up, your body is showing you signs that something's wrong and that it needs to be addressed. So skin reactions, once again, you take note, of what's happening and what your body's telling you.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And those were like a quick 7. But the list that we gave you is not all inclusive. It's just some of the more common ones that you may not link to toxins. Again, from my own personal experience, and I'm sure Jess has had her experiences as well, I just thought my fatigue and my body aches were just coming from the regular day to day. There's no way I would have been able to tie it to my hormones or toxins impacting my hormones, or the things that I was eating, or even especially skincare products. I never made that connection of having skincare products have toxins in them that caused me to have, that were endocrine disruptors that would cause me to have hormone issues that would, impact my thyroid. But I've never made the connection. So the purpose of these conversations is just so you won't have to go through some of the worry and some of the long process that I went through to try to figure all these things out. It took me years to try to figure out what was going on with me. So our goal is to provide you with some tips on what you can do to kind of recognize that you have a toxic overload, and then also give you some tips to kind of help you with detoxing. So that's what we're going to do now. And so the first tip is just detoxing your liver. And I've talked about this on my personal page. If you follow me, in the morning time when I was going through my protocol, I would have tea in the morning, whether it be dandelion tea or parsley tea or milk thistle supplements, just to kind of help my liver get rid of those toxins. People always say, well, why do you need a detox if your liver already does that for you? But if your body is overburdened with them, your liver becomes overburdened with them, and it can't function as it normally would. It can't function properly. So my main primary focus was making sure that I was doing things to, number one, being proactive and not accumulating more toxins in my body, but also being proactive in helping my liver eliminate the ones that I already had in my body.
And then another tip is drink more water. I know you hear this, you may have said, oh yeah, I know, drink more water, but it does. It helps flush out those toxins in your body. Start off your day with the water. I like to do warm water with lemon in it just to start the day off. Or like Jamie mentioned, a tea, but something that's natural, and then work that water in throughout the day. Even if you have to make your what helps me especially when I'm out all day on a day like today and night, is I have my water with me. I take it with me because I'm more likely to drink it if it's on hand and it's ready, right? Just like our food, a lot of times, have it prepped, have it ready, work it into your day, and you will see a difference. As it's flushing out those toxins. Remember what we said about the skin, though. You might see things coming out on your skin, but in that case, it's a good thing because you're detoxing, like Jamie mentioned. So drink more water. I don't want you to keep hearing it and think, oh, it's a given. Really do that and work it into your daily routine.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is getting at least 30 minutes of exercise a day. And I know we all hear this, that you're supposed to exercise for, a certain amount of time per day. And yes, you should, but also to eliminate toxins as well. You're sweating out all of the toxins that are in your body, just like you would eliminate them any other kind of way. Also, one of the things that I started doing, and it's also good for older people, if you can't go out and physically, do physically demanding exercises, just doing things like bouncing on a trampoline, that motion up and down helps stimulate your lymphatic system. So that helps cleanse you out as well. Things like jump roping or, bouncing on a trampoline. You don't have to physically go out and go to a gym per se. Walking around in the neighborhood helps. Anything that you're going to do to get your lymphatic system moving and sweating, it's going to be awesome for at least 30 minutes a day to help rid your body of those toxins.
Something else, another tip that you can do, you can get a good a daily supply of the digestion supportive probiotics. You can look for them in things like kefir, yogurt, sauerkraut, kombucha tea, miso soup, tempeh, and kimchi. I love kombucha. and once again, these things are, it's new, it's a new experience, right? But you have to remember, you're coming from a palate that is just saturated with sugar and chemicals and toxins. So give it a try and give it some time. It's amazing once you start removing these things from your life and your food, how you really won't want those things that are real super sugary, with corn syrup and all these things. Kombucha, you can make it on your own, but if you're just starting out, just find a really good brand. And I know Jamie shared some really some that looked good. I new flavors I wanted to try. So start out with that, work your way up, and get in your probiotics and things that support your digestion to help it out.
It's awesome. I love kombucha. So kombucha, I have one. I'm trying to cut back a little bit, but at least have a one serving a day. But that's an awesome way to start if you're not into the other things like there's kefir and kimchi and things of that nature that you can incorporate, into your foods, which I started using as food as my medicine. But kombucha, especially if you like soda, it was my soda replacement. So it was awesome for me to eliminate all the sugar and add in something that was good for my digestion and to eliminate toxins. I just wanted to follow up on the kombucha because I love kombucha.
Yeah.
Also to follow up on what you mentioned earlier, Jess, we were talking about the bad breath, and you mentioned something about oil pulling. So another thing that you can do as well, because just to think about it, you're putting toxins into your mouth. That's the first place they're going to go, is tongue scraping. And if you haven't heard of that, it's just a small little tool that you can use. I got mine off of Amazon for a few dollars, but you can get it almost anywhere now, where you're just scraping the toxins off your tongue. And if you don't have that, just start out by brushing your tongue, but just making sure that you're getting all of if you have like a white coating on your tongue, 9 times out of 10 it's toxins. So you're brushing that off. Just be cognizant of that. And that's something simple that you can do, that you brush you brush your teeth day and night. So that's one detox method that you can easily incorporate into your lifestyle starting today.
And then another tip is to practice deep breathing. I've shared this before on my blog and my different social media channels that I used to say, oh, okay, yeah, deep breathing, like, what is that all about? But you know what? When I started really practicing it, one, I thought, oh my gosh, like I don't really stop and breathe intentionally at all. With intention. And our body gets rid of a lot of toxins through our lungs. So we want to be intentional, give that part of our body some time. And it also will help you relax as well. So practice your deep breaths. Even if it's just in the morning, counting, inhaling, holding your breath and exhaling, and then just build your way up. Put a reminder on your phone to remind you to breathe, deep breaths, and take that time.
And the last tip second to last tip that we have is and I mentioned this earlier, the skincare products. That was one of the things that I wasn't aware of or wasn't cognizant of. But sure, I became cognizant of putting things into my body through my mouth, not really fully comprehending or putting two and two together that your skin is your largest organ. So whatever you're putting into your skin and you're absorbing, that's getting into your body too. So making sure just as you read labels on your food, or you should start reading labels on your food, it's also equally as important to read the labels on the items that you put on your skin. So for me, it became from switching from lotion to things like coconut oil. Something, I always say, check your ingredients, make sure that you're able to understand and read everything that you're putting into your body. If you don't know what it is, don't eat it. I carried that same philosophy over to my skincare products, my perfumes, my makeup. If I don't know what's in it, I won't put it on my body because you don't know what impact those toxins are having, again, on your endocrine system, on the toxins that are in your body. And it's just best to keep it simple and minimize what you're putting on your body.
And then another tip is to choose clean, whole, and organic foods whenever possible. So, Jamie, maybe you have shared this before, but if you're new to this and you're not sure where to start with the Dirty Dozen. Start with those 12 foods that have the highest concentration of pesticides, and start there. And then there's also the Clean 15 list. So those might be things you don't want to worry about going organic because they're the cleanest. But read the labels, like Jamie was saying. Pay attention to what's in your food. If the label has a lot of ingredients you can't pronounce, you want to start minimizing those foods as much as possible. And I like to say with my clients that a whole food is something that the best way to think about it is does not require a label. You look at an apple, you know it's an apple. Even if you can't go organic yet, start with, what is this food? Can I recognize it if it did not have a wrapper or a label on it and what was in it? So that might be a little exercise to practice as you go through the grocery store. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Is it a real food? The less ingredients, the better, and just build yourself up from there.
Awesome. So now I just wanted to kind of go over, I have this awesome winter detox coming out that kind of goes over almost everything that we've talked about here on this coaching conversation. It goes over not only the physical aspects of detoxing, but the mental aspects of it. It goes over, skincare products. It goes over things that you can incorporate into your daily life, including oil pulling, including tongue scraping, things that you may have heard of, things that you may be familiar with but haven't tried before. Those are the types of things that I'm going to be supporting you with. And so what comes along with that is a winter detox guide. It has everything you need to know about detoxing in a natural and safe way. It's not about food deprivation at all. I know there's several different types of detoxes out there. You can do a juice detox. You can do a smoothie detox. This is not at all what that is. And it basically has all of the emotional tools, the physical tools to help you guide you through this entire process. It has a recipe guide that has over 60 different recipes. And I always say these are just suggested recipes. Most of us know, a lot of us know what to eat. But this specific one helps guide you on what to do to eliminate those things that don't serve you, that could cause inflammation, that could be causing you problems that you're not aware of. And then we gradually add those back in the second week. And I guide you through all of that. You also get daily email support. You get the 14 days of suggested meals, and you also get access to my private group where I'll be in there every single day to support you. So I just want to kind of give you a heads up on that. That's something that I'll be rolling out next week. If you're connected with me on my page, you're going to be getting information about that. If you're connected with me on my email list, you're going to be starting to get information about that. But it's something that I'm looking forward to just because I'm so passionate about it. And I know the impact that it's had on my life. And I want to be able to share that with others. So if you have any questions about it in the meantime, feel free to leave those in the comments. And I look forward to going on that journey with you starting in February 5th. But again, more information will be rolling out about that in the next week. So that is the end of this coaching conversation. We'll be here every Monday at 7:30. You can stay connected with us at Heal Coach. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Heal Coach. And Jess, you can catch her at UnProcessedJess on Facebook and on Instagram. Yes. Jess, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Just that really go forward with this. A lot of people say new year, new you, different things like that. It's really about at any time of the year, wherever you are, start where you are. But know that the first step is realizing that there are a lot of toxins and that your body is trying to tell you something. So through Jamie's community and what she's doing, I think it will really help for you to listen to your body, because there's things it's telling us every day. We just need to take the time to listen, to really enjoy our life and really thrive, not just survive.
Yes. Well, awesome. That concludes this broadcast of Coaching Conversations. Again, this is Jamie and Jess. We're signing off, and we'll see you again same time next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.